Yeah, Madonnaj. Ready? Hello, I'm here.
All right. Okay, Trinidad and Tobago, it's that time. A wonderful afternoon to each and every one of you. And I have the distinguished pleasure this evening of having with us on Isaac 98.1 FM, the founder and political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. And I realize that the words in PDP are some very powerful words. Progressive, for persons who would want to progress in life, gradual stages, proceeding step by step. And then there's democratic. So we all believe in democracy in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's the principles, supporting the democracy principles that we embrace in TNT. And then he has patriots, persons who are loyal and dedicated, persons who really support their country and prepare to defend it against every enemy that will come. So I realize that his goal as well is in impacting lives and making a significant difference in the lives he touched. And usually, when I see this, I tend to be drawn to say, yes, he's a part of a great team. And that's because, when you read, excerpts of Martin Luther and various leaders, they will talk about greatness being defined as someone who impacts lives, not just from the material things, but by the lives they impact. And we see that there's a consistency with him impacting lives and creating that legacy for third and fourth generations. So I'd like to welcome, without further ado, to Isaac 98.1, the Honorable Watson Solomon Duke. Good evening, sir, and welcome to Isaac 98.1 FM, The Promise. Yes. And I'm not hearing you as I would like to. So let me see. I was hearing you.
All right, okay, right, good.
Right.
Good evening, my Madonnaj. It's a pleasure to be here on Isaac 98.1, The Promise. Indeed, this is a promise station. It's a station of tremendous blessing. I feel blessed already just to be here on this Friday night. Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
And I have the awesome pleasure of interviewing you. And
Yes.
I know that our founder and CEO would have been ecstatic as well, you know, to have you are being a part of us and me having this interview here this evening. So I'm going to jump right into it.
Straight into it.
Straight into it. So I've learned that you recently opened another headquarters in Trinidad, with your first headquarters being in Trinidad, in Tobago, sorry. So, what is your vision for the PDP in Trinidad, and what are some of the changes we can expect with your presence being here?
Thank you so much for that lovely question. The Progressive Democratic Patriots is an organization that is primarily based on the needs of the grassroots. While we do not exclude the needs of the upper class or the bourgeois class or the wealthy class, we are focused on the grassroots. They are oftentimes misrepresented, misaligned, and they're the biggest losers in politics. We need to change that, as we need to make the grassroots, the underclass, the proletariat, the really winners in elections. It's they who tend to vote. They are the ones who tend to change the government. And though they have put government after government after government into power, they have lost, 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 lost. This cannot continue like that, because it will be the new definition of madness. Trying to do something, trying to get a different results, doing the same thing. And so they have to try something different. The PDP is different. We do not have members, we have Spartans. Every person within this PDP, you are committed to ideals that are nationalistic in nature. We do not engage in racism or race baiting in the politics, in the PDP. We engage in brotherhood building and sisterhood building. We believe all men are created equal, regardless of your social status in life or your academic attainment. We believe that we are equal, and so therefore we treat our members even as we treat ourselves. The PDP is about big vision for Trinidad, and that big vision is what Trinidadians have not been getting. Hence, they have become forlorn with the polling, forlorn with elections, and they have given up on parties. We have seen since our entrance here, walkabout, and our setting up for political office, an overwhelming level of support. It seems to us that people are interested in what we are offering. What we are saying is resonating with them. And if we were to have a way, we will naturally reform the political system in Trinidad and Tobago, so to ensure that poor people and the underclass do not suffer the way they're suffering. If they have to suffer, it has to be from a rainfall, a cause flood, hurricane, a blow off roof, something that you cannot properly estimate. But insofar as the need for jobs, the need for proper health care, education, lights, water, they should not suffer for those things. All of these things can be managed, and we are going to manage them once given the opportunity.
Wow, that's really very, very heartwarming to learn. And coming out of that, are there plans to contest in the Trinidad local government elections coming up at the end of the year?
Yes, we are planning to contest in the local government elections. Particularly, we are very much interested in Port of Spain. Port of Spain is one of the most, is a perfect example of PNM don't care attitude towards their voters. They have never lost a corporation. The corporation have always supported them from time immemorial to now. And yet, the corporation is the worst reflection of economic growth and human development. It lacks a lot of attention, and we're going to give it that attention.
Wow. So therefore, Port of Spain and is a place where you're contesting for most of it. And on Sunday, we have the opportunity to meet those candidates that you would have for Port of Spain constituencies.
Not necessarily Port of Spain. What you're going to meet on Sunday, what we're going to expose the public to on Saturday, is our executive. The executive is charged with the responsibility of managing the entire organization in Trinidad. And so you will see the brilliant minds and the tenacious spirit that are coming to the forward to defend to Trinidadians. Trinidadians are in good hands. They are all Trinidadians of different ethnicities, different religious persuasions, and definitely have different mental faculties, I would say academic achievements. We believe that this group of people who are humble in nature, who are also, I would say, committed in their very lifelong work because they're all workers in different areas, I believe that is the kind of people that will allow Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago to see a brighter and better day. I look forward to announce these people here. It's a quite unique assembling of an executive, which is very important. We will have a chairperson, vice chairman, vice chairwoman, and we have a political leader. We have head deputy political leader and 4 deputy political leaders. We have treasurer / finance officer, youth officer. We have membership and election officer. So there's a number of positions available, and these positions will be filled on Saturday as we appoint people to hold on to them temporarily. We believe that the election is going to be very soon, and so we are prepared in the shortest possible, with the shortest notice, to represent the people and become a voice for them, something they have not experienced since becoming a republic. No government has been the voice of these people. Instead, they have been their mother and their father. It's quite amazing that you come inside begging for votes, and after you get the votes, you proclaim yourself the father of the nation. But you come in begging for votes, and as they get the votes, you proclaim yourself the mother of the nation. But these are fathers and mothers who have abandoned their children, who instead of giving them an egg, gave them a serpent, who instead of giving them a fish, gave them a snake. They are not eager to give them real development that is sustainable and is growing on a day-to-day basis.
So is this the prelude and the build-up to competing for the 41 seats in the 2025 general elections?
Indeed. It is a build-up for competing on those 41 seats. It's a build-up that says to the people, we can do this because we have done it in Tobago, we have done it in the Port of Spain Corporation, and certainly we can do it in all 41 seats for the national government elections.
Wow, that is something I know that a lot of Trinidadians would be looking forward to. So,
Indeed.
in understanding that and, you starting from now building that foundation, will you consider a coalition government if you were approached at that time of general elections?
No, we will not consider it. We have no idea of considering such. We believe in coalition, but coalition has to be on our terms and our condition. We are not talking coalition, anybody's terms and condition. We will set the tone and we will set the terms, and the conditions for such negotiations and such coming about.
So therefore, with that in mind, let's say I've seen the PDP very alive in Trinidad, and persons may want to be a part of it from another political party. Will that be considered then?
Yes, indeed. The PDP is open for all persons from the PNM, the UNC, the NJAC, the MSJ. Call whatever you may. We are ready and willing to open willing to open our doors, I should say, to all people. Doesn't matter whether you're a gangster, whether you're a farmer, whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a doctor. All people are welcome into the PDP.
Trinidad and Tobago, in case you just locked on, you're listening to the founder and political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, right here on Isaac 98.1 FM, The Promise,
Right.
and they're having their launch on Sunday at the Hyatt. So working and representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago for 10 years. You have impacted many persons in the
12,
workforce.
12 years.
12 years. And you have
Yeah.
that strong connection with the people. So is that door open for young at heart and younger people as well?
Yes, certainly. I love to engage young people. I know if we engage them, there'll be great succession planning for the future. And so part of our mandate within our executive is to ensure as we select persons for the upcoming election, local and national, we want to look at persons who are under 50 to make up the majority of the candidacy, persons 50 and under. All right. We will take folks above 50, above 60, but generally we're looking at a good percentage, the larger percentage of persons being under 50. We have to grow the nation into becoming statesmen and stateswomen.
I realize that you're really thinking, legacy and being that change as it would have been in persons who would have impacted
Yeah,
lives throughout the globe, as it were. And I know you would have a vision for Trinidad and Tobago as well. And I've learned that you've been attending to the man on the street, as it were.
that's right.
And you recently accompanied the TNT delegation to Dubai. So were you able to make
Yeah.
connections when you got there?
Yes, we have made connections. Quite a few people in Dubai interested in coming to Trinidad and Tobago. The challenge with Trinidad and Tobago is that they do not provide a great enough incentives for persons who wish to engage in foreign direct investment via development of projects here. So to do that, we need to relook at what we offer as incentives and look at the best incentives and offer those. Yeah.
Hmm. Were there talk about tourism to help grow tourism in Tobago? I find Tobago is so beautiful. There are so many historical sites and different things that we could develop to attract. And I know that you're a person of vision. Just as Walt Disney, he saw it before it
Yeah.
actually evolved. And I'm sure
All right.
you would have a dream and a vision of what that could be. You want to share with us a little bit on that?
Um, just repeat one more again so I ensure I get the question correct.
The vision with regards to tourism for Tobago.
I would say that tourism is more than a person arriving in a boat to walk around, or a person arriving in a plane just to dip his foot in the sand. Tourism has to do with something that attracts people. What are you going to attract people? Tobago, just being Tobago doesn't make it attractive. So we have to exploit the natural resources we have. The over 40 waterfalls we have in Tobago, we have to explore those waterfalls. We have to explore things that will make people want to go to the beaches, things that will make people want to engage in sports in Tobago, things that will make people want to come for healthcare in Tobago. We have to even explore hotels with big conference halls, hotels with casinos. We have to explore the things that attract people. So what will we require is a serious study of what Tobago needs to do to attract that. Right now, because of limited finances, the dreams that we have are somewhat being challenged by the reality. And it is my hope as a person responsible for foreign direct investment, that we will soon get past that. And if we can't get past that by getting more money, that we will bite the bullet and make a concerted effort to transform that economic space within the tourism sector into a vibrant place. It simply means that we will have to start to make dignified access to all our places of interest, have washrooms there, starting with those basic things. Yeah. And also advertising those pieces of interest abroad. Sometimes they are not known. We have to advertise them. There are many places in Tobago that are not yet highlighted. Many places.
Yeah, that is true. And that legacy continues, and a lot of Trinidadians would have a lot of roots in Tobago. My grandmother was a Tobagonian, and a number of people that you would connect with, they would have some cousin, some auntie in Tobago as well. So we're also passionate about it because that's where our bloodline, as they say, would have come from. I'd like to find
Right.
out what are some of the main areas that you intend to tackle in Trinidad, and how how successful you believe that you would be in the polls. And I know that you're very optimistic.
Well, I'm not going to try to treat my own horn, but what we are offering, we are the only person offering that product. We are offering to bring governance to the local level, bring governance to the ground, bring governance to the man who is on the floor. And by doing that, people will be able to access healthcare, education, a number of other public services through the local government, and local government will be in charge. Things like um, crime and other police matters, and even the fire service. The fire service that falls within local government would be responsible, be directed by the local government. So we want to devolve power. It's a big thing. We don't believe in consolidating it, but simply devolving it. Because the more you give it away, the more it will come back to you. And so that's where we are.
That's really powerful. And so someone may ask, who is Mr. Watson Duke outside of the political arena?
But like I say, I'm a mix-up man, but I like it that way. I don't want to be read easily, but I'm a very quiet man, as you may suppose. I'm a very quiet man at home. I'm a family man. I'm a man of the word. I read the Bible. I pray. And I'm just cool. I don't quarrel. I'm not a man who will quarrel over anything while I'm at home. I tend not to quarrel at all, as a rule. Yeah, I believe in people. I believe in righteousness. I also believe that we are here on earth to encourage each other and to promote each other. And therefore, I've got into politics because politics is about people and helping people. And I think that gone are the days when a person must have education to lead a country. Once you could read and write and have a good heart, according to Patrick Manning, you could lead a country. And I think that we should spend more time refining our hearts and changing our attitudes rather than trying to buy friends or buy this or buy that. We must really spend time allowing people to get a grasp of our vision as we also try to get a grasp of their vision and steer them in the right direction. That's what politics is. Using the nation resources to steer people in the right direction. So many people are going wrong. And the resources not being used for that, not being used for that at all.
I realize that you're very selfless in closing. I mean, what type of leader would give up his position to someone else for, just so that they would have and move forward in their vision for what they have for the country?
And you're right, I mean, you can't be, in this modern age, leaders can't be selfish. You can't think about yourself because you got into power because of people who place their trust in you. And you too must begin to devolve your power. Give it away. It's going to come right back to you. Give your power away. That's the best thing a person can do. You will never lose it. And so, though I am the founder and the political leader and somewhat the finance of the party, I have find myself even sometimes without an office. Even I'm saying to you, I find myself sitting in line waiting to talk to the chief secretary. Now I can kick down the door and I can make noise, but that's not the attitude. The attitude is that you have to go underneath someone to push them up.
Wow.
You can't push someone. And if you want to see people rise, you have to go down to their level and even get lower than they are. So they can be on top and then you can push, elevate them. And I want to see the people around me, the people in Trinidad to be elevate. And I'm willing to get even low so they can rise. We have to do it. There's no way you can lift something and to get down to that thing level. As being a Christian, I always say this. Paul said he became all things to all men that he may save some. And if you're going to really become a politician, a good politician, You have to become all things to all men that you may save some.
Mm.
You have to go down to the look at Christ. Christ said, "Behold, I stand at the door and I knock."
Mm.
Christ had he could kick down the door,
Mm-hmm.
but he said a just man. He said, "I'm
Yeah.
stand at the knocking. If any man hears my voice, let him open the door and I will come in unto him." I'm saying to you, we need that approach in the politics. People need to be more balanced in their approach, not because you have so-called power, you're going to treat people anyhow. You have to stand at the door and still knock. Be patient, wait. Understand that's the full human being you're talking to. And they have the right to say yes or no. And I am learning that more often than not, when you do that, you give up your rights and you put people in front, you can never come last. Because God look out for you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So powerful. And, I really want to thank you for being a part of this little segment, getting to know the
Long?
honorable political
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And, indeed, you really are showing leadership qualities that persons would want to be a part of. And
Good,
Maya
thank
Angelou said, people forget what you say, but they never forget how you made them feel. All right.
you. Very good.
And you really, into impacting and making a change. And that is something persons will not forget. And we can
Thank
attest to the 12 years when you're a part of PSA, and persons will get the opportunity to get homes and so many different things that you
you.
did in that tenure. And so therefore, we even thank you for that as well. And I want to, bid you God's blessings as you continue in your endeavors. I realize that you are very resilient and consistent, and you don't deviate from your goal, and you maintain that
Uh,
balance.
but
So continue doing what you do. God bless you, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you again.
Thank you, and thank you, Isaac 98.1 fans. It's been a tremendous blessing. And God bless you too. Bye.
Bye. And in case you just joined us, we just had an all inclusive interview with the founder and political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. And they're having the launch on Sunday at the Hyatt. All are invited, and you're going to see all the persons that they're going to present to us that will be representing in Trinidad, on the Trinidad arm of things. And we look forward to that. So have a wonderful evening. And we go back to regular programming. And as they said, that was a paid political interview.